Hi everyone! So today I have a very exciting video for you guys. Well, it's very exciting because I've always wanted a rope basket and I knew that I was either going to buy one or make one. So I finally got the chance to make one and I think that it's one of my favorite DIYs. Well, actually, this beauty right here is actually my favorite DIY up to date. I will leave the video link down below in the description box just in case you want to see how I DIY this beauty right here. But let's get into what I'm about to tell you and show you. So I've always wanted a rope basket and I was up one night searching the web to see if I can find an affordable one, and I came across Potterybarn's website, and girl, let me just tell you that they had these beautiful braided baskets, but I was not about to dish out 70, 80, 150, 200 for this beautiful basket. I'm just the type of person that would rather make something if I can't afford it. I also looked on Amazon to see if I could get it at a cheaper price, and they were around 80 to 150 as well. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to make one. And I knew that Dollar Tree carried nautical rope, so I ran to my favorite Dollar Tree to see if they had enough in stock so I could make the basket of my dreams. At this point, it was the basket of my dreams, okay? So let me just tell you that I fell in love with the way that it came out. It's right here. I think it's absolutely stunning. I am so very happy with it. It's definitely my top 2 favorite DIY up to date. So I am very excited to show you how I did this beauty right here, and maybe you can transform any basket that you have that you want to upgrade in your house. Also, before we get into the video, I do want to apologize for my crusty nails and dirt under my nails. I've been working out and pushing this heavy tire that's behind my house, trying to lose some weight over here, and I have to definitely clean my nails out, so I'm very sorry about that. Alright, let's continue. Okay guys, so this is the orange basket that we are going to transform. We are going to use nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. I bought around 24 pieces. We are also going to use natural jute cord from the Dollar Tree, mesh tube from the Dollar Tree as well, a hot glue gun, some Gorilla Glue, glue sticks from the Dollar Tree, and a pair of scissors. Okay, so I am going to start by placing the nautical rope on the bottom round part of the basket, and to attach the rope I am putting some Gorilla Glue all around the basket first. Then I am placing the rope on top of the basket, but I'm also using hot glue so the rope can stay in place right away. That way it gives the Gorilla Glue some time to dry underneath. This technique has a name, but I forgot what it's called. But basically this is all I am going to do to attach the rope to all of the basket. I am putting my strong permanent glue first, and then I am putting some hot glue on top of that so my rope can stick to it right away, and that way again it will give the Gorilla Glue time to dry. And that is all I did to attach the rope to the basket. When you do this, I do recommend that you let the hot gun sit for a while, that way it can get hot enough before you use it, because in the very beginning my gun was not hot enough and the glue kept coming out a little hard and weird, and once I noticed that, I let the gun sit for a while to get hot enough. Now I would just go back and tap on the rope just to make sure everything is in place, and halfway through the basket I ran out of rope, so I went to Dollar Tree and got 12 more pieces of nautical rope. I also ran out of Gorilla Glue, so I got E6000. So with my glue E6000, I am just doing the same thing that I was doing with the Gorilla Glue, placing down my permanent glue first, then my hot glue gun on top. I am just doing the same process over and over again till I get to the very top of the basket. It is all done and it came out wonderful. I think it looks beautiful, and we're not even done yet, but I was very happy with the results. For the handles, I originally wanted to use this natural jute cord, but as you can see it's very thin and I kept playing around with it and it just was not looking right. So I used mesh tube instead, and I fell in love with the way that the handles came out. So the cool thing about this mesh tube is that it's stretchy, and when you pull it, it looks like a piece of rope. So basically all I did was grab my hot glue gun and I started in the middle of the handle. I put a little dab of hot glue underneath the handle, and all I am going to do with the mesh tube is just wrap it around the handle. That's all I'm going to do, wrap around the handle and stretch it as I wrap around. And I just want to make sure that all of the white of the handle is covered, and that is all I did for the handles. I just wrapped it around in this mesh tube one time until I got to the very bottom. Then I trimmed off a little piece. As you can see there, I put a little dab of hot glue gun and I went ahead and pressed it down, and boom, half of the handle is done, and I think it came out wonderful. So now we're just going to do the same thing to the other side. Our handles are done and I think they look wonderful. I am very happy with them. So now I'm going to show you how to do our braids on the side of the basket. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So for the braids, I am taking 2 pieces of rope and I am going to make sure that they are even. Once they're even, I'm going to go ahead and cut them right in the middle so we can get 4 pieces of rope, and then I'm going to put 2 on each side on one of the handles, and I'm going to tie the pieces to the back of the handle, and now the fun begins. For the braids, I'm crossing the middle pieces first. The left rope is under, the right rope is over, and I did the same things with the other 2 pieces of rope that were on the outer skirts. I put the right one under, left one over. Same thing here. I'm gonna put the right one under, left over, right under, left over, right under, left over. I am going to repeat this motion until I get to the bottom of my braid. And I wanted a thick braid, a thick chunky braid. This is why I did it with 4 pieces of rope instead of 3, and I think it gave the basket a beautiful look. So I'm gonna braid until I get to the bottom of my basket. I tied the braid with mesh tube. I also used mesh tube to tie it to the very top on the handles. I cut the excess off, and now I am just gonna go ahead and secure it in place with some hot glue, and I think that the braid came out beautiful. Now I'm going to show you how I did these X's on the braid. It was very easy for me to do because the whole basket is perforated. It was very easy for me to do because even though the front holes were covered, we still had the back holes that we could work with. So we're going to make an X right there at the top and one at the bottom. And for that, I am going to use the natural jute cord and this needle. It's a big needle that I got from the Dollar Tree. The jute cord fits perfectly inside of it. As you can see, I'm not going to tie the jute cord. I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to start on the back of the basket. I am just pushing through. We're going to go ahead and make our X. I'm going to push through on one side and I'm going to go over the braid, and then I'm going to find the 3rd row, the 3rd hole. There it is. Pull through. We got one part of our X good. Then I am going to the very first hole on the 3rd line. I'm going over the braid, and I am going to go ahead and find the 3rd hole of the first line where we started, and boom, there it is. And now all I'm going to do is adjust our X, make sure that's how I want it, and once it's fine, I'm going to go ahead and tie it, and we are done our first X. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom. I'm going to start at the bottom hole, push through. Now I am going to go over my braid, and I am going to look for the first hole on the 3rd line. There it is. Now I am just going to go ahead and go to the last hole on the same line, push through, and then I'm going to go over my braid, and I'm going to find the 3rd hole on the first line where we began. There it is. Now I'm just going to go ahead and adjust my X, make sure that's how I want it. And after that, I'm just gonna tie it, and boom, we're done. I thought that that small detail not only held my braid in place but looked very, very chic. I don't know how to explain it. I loved it. I did both braids. That's what the bottom of the basket looks like, and this side is a little bit shorter, but I don't mind because you can't tell when the basket is flipped over. So now we're going to work on the inside of the basket, and for that I got these 2 pillowcases from Five Below. I loved these pillowcases. I really like the pattern on them. They are like swirls and they reminded me of roses, and I fell in love with them as soon as I saw them. at the store, and I thought that they would be perfect for this project. And it's crazy because I opened one right away to see if it will fit the round part of the basket. So I left that side that you saw there as is, and I cut this part right here. I cut it all the way open to where the seam ended, and I placed it right on top, and as you're gonna see now, it fit like a glove. It fit beautifully on the basket. So I fell in love with it and I was so happy, and as you can see here, it looks like it was meant to be. So that made me very happy. All I had to do was tuck in that little piece inside, and that is it. Then I started cutting a little opening for the handles. I would cut a little bit, then pull back, cut a little, pull back, only so I didn't overcut anything. And once that was done, it was the perfect opening for the handles. Both handles are done and they look beautiful. We're gonna hot glue the sides shortly, but before that I'm gonna go ahead and cut the middle of the pillowcase open. All I'm going to do is cut along where the seam is and where it ends. I'm just gonna cut it all the way open. I could have left it like that, but I just wanted to see what it looked like all the way open, and I also wanted to see how it would look with both pillowcases. I took the other pillowcase and all I did was create a little circle bed for the bottom of the basket. I could have hot glued gun that, but I didn't. I just wanted to leave it just like that. I put the fabric over the basket again and all done. I think that it came out beautiful. I love the finished look of it and I was very pleased with it. I am finishing up by hot gluing the fabric on the sides of the handle, and I am doing this so I don't know if you can see a little bit of the orange poking through and some of that fabric there that looks loose. I just want everything to look seamless, so this is why I am hot gluing everything in place. And guys, after this I am done. Thank you very much if you stayed up to this point of the video. I enjoyed doing this DIY. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next one, and here is the finished product.